Now, away from London, the main royal story today has been the visit of the King and Queen Consort to Wales, the final stop on the tour of the nations of the UK, another intense and packed day for the new King. Jonny Dymond has given us this report of the day's event.
Into autumn sunshine, the King helicoptered into Wales and the last of his travels before Monday's state funeral. For many decades he was the Prince of Wales, but the relationship was never perceived as a particularly strong one. Now he came as sovereign. Over at Cardiff Castle, the guns rang out in salute, and as the royal convoy made its way to Cardiff Cathedral, a different kind of appreciation was heard. The crowds weren't huge, the pavements were narrow, but the enthusiasm was there as the King and Queen Consort made their way into the cathedral. Inside, the Prime Minister and the Secretary of State for Wales sat close to the First Minister, who gave a reading. This has been a gruelling week for the King. A man it's worth remembering is in his 70s, as the royal harpist began to pluck. Some calm descended on the King. The Archbishop of Wales spoke of the Queen's common touch and of her values, and he remembered that playful Elizabethan twinkle that so many have recalled over the past few days.
We also saw a monarch who could surprise and delight us. We will never look at a jar of marmalade again in the same way, nor watch Mr. Bond without remembering 2012 and that extraordinary leap into the void.
Out of the cathedral and into the crowd the King went, the first of 3 walkabouts which delighted onlookers, who shook his hand, gave him cards and shoved their camera phones as near to him as they dared. Above the Senedd, the Welsh Parliament, the royal standard was raised. Between the building and Cardiff Bay, a great chunk of crowd had gathered. Inside, the First Minister, Mark Drakeford, spoke of the reign just past and of the life of duty come to an end. And he spoke of present and future.
Today, there is a sense of transition in Wales. This morning we came together in a service of reflection at Cardiff Cathedral to look back over a reign unrivalled in its length and its reach. Later today, people in Wales will have their chance to meet the new King at Cardiff Castle for the first time, the start of a new era.
For the 3rd time this week, the King replied, but this time was different because this was Wales.
Bryant, oedd bod yn dywysog Cymru more here.
It was a privilege to be Prince of Wales for so long, said the King. Now my son William will bear the title. He has a deep love for Wales. Outside, another crowd, another walkabout. The King's hand grasped and pumped again by dozens. Then the journey by car to Cardiff Castle. As he approached the castle, a very unroyal sound. Booing. Beneath the cheers, certainly, but clearly audible. Not everyone was thrilled to see the King. Inside the castle, well-wishers had gathered. No booing here. There were audiences with political leaders. And then that harp again, as the King met representatives of local charities. He loves a harp, does the new King. One final walkabout just to test the royal metacarpals, and then it was time to go. The King's travels are over as the royal family, the capital and the nation prepares for Monday's funeral.
Jonny Dymond there.